I want to take a look at how to handle pasted values in the onEdit function. There's a trick to handling pasted values versus typed values that's critical to understand. For my example, I'm going to paste in the name of a color, let's say blue, and I want the background of that cell to change to match the color. Let's dive right in. All right, so here in my spreadsheet, let's go to Extensions, App Script, and open up the blank App Script window. Let me start an onEdit function, and these are nice because they actually run automatically whenever an edit is made, okay? And all I want to do is change the background of the cell to the name of whatever we put in that cell. So let's do e.range.setBackground e.value. Really straightforward there, okay? So e is the object or the data from the edit itself, and I'm getting the value of that edit and pass that into the range to set the background. That's kind of how the logic works there. That's already saved, so if I come back here and type in blue and wait a moment, that automatically changes. This works with any color, anywhere. Great. Now, let me copy and paste just the value. If I paste the whole thing, it'll paste the background with it. So I'm just going to paste the value, and nothing happens. If we go back to the extensions, to the app script, we can see that there was a script that just ran, but nothing happened. So let's take a look at why. Whenever this runs, let's first do a log that just says onEdit running, so that we know it started at all. And then I'm going to do console.log e.value. Now if I come back here and type green, wait for it to finish, go to the executions, and I can see, should have both. The executions are a little weird. They don't always send all of it. I can see that it is pasting out green. Great, onEdit running and green. Okay, now let me copy the word green and paste it, just the value. And now let's give it a moment to make sure that the execution gets over to the logs. It says that's complete. It says onEdit running, but then it says that e.value is undefined. That is always true for pasted values. I don't know why, I just know that it is. So not something I can fight, but we need to figure out how to deal with that. So when we paste in values, they are undefined. The script doesn't see them at all. So let's try doing it this way. Let's log e.range.getValue. So instead of getting the value passed in, I'm going to get the range, which is part of the spreadsheet, and then access the value of that range. That's the logic I'm looking at here. Okay, let's come back and again paste special values, paste green. Come back here to the app script executions. And of course, going to do this again. I wish I knew why this happened. We kind of just have to refresh until it's there. There we go. All right, now it says onEdit running and green. So when we tried accessing e.value on a pasted cell, it says undefined. But when I access the value of the cell, it does have the value there. Now that we have that established, I can use this in place of e.value. I still use e.value when available. It's faster to access the information in that object than it is to make a call to the spreadsheet, but this will work for this purpose. Paste special, values only, paste green, and now it colors it to green. And just to confirm, let's try this with the others. Excellent. And I actually have here a bunch of names of colors that I can try this on. So let's try this with pink. Copy pink, paste special, values only, makes it pink. That'll work for any of these, for any name, for any color name that JavaScript recognizes. Now, obviously you can do this with anything else. You can say, hey, whenever I paste in a number, I want to multiply that number by 10. Or whenever I paste in an email address, I want to extract the domain. Whatever that is, right? The important thing here is when you're dealing with pasted values, you cannot actually access e.value. You need to get the value of the range. So the way that I would actually formally rewrite this would be const r equals e.range. And I'm doing that because I'm going to access that same object, that same variable multiple times. And then I'm going to say r.setBackground, r.getValue. That's how I would actually write this. But the logic is the same. Get the range, get the value of the range, and then you can perform other functions on it. I hope this helps.